How did state-owned enterprises change during communist reforms? Imagine a time when every factory, bank, and energy plant was directly run by the government. Now picture that slowly shifting as reforms began to reshape how these businesses operated. That's what happened to state-owned enterprises during communist reforms. These enterprises, or SOEs, started out under strict government control, following detailed plans made by central authorities. They were part of a command economy where the government decided what to produce, how much, and at what cost. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, countries like China began opening their economies. They allowed some foreign investment and even some private businesses to operate. But most industries still remained owned by the state. The big change was that these SOEs started to adopt market-like practices. They began to compete more and become more efficient. Managers gained more decision-making power, and some reforms introduced profit incentives. By the 1990s, reforms went further. Governments started to separate the management of SOEs from direct government control. These enterprises became more like corporations. They set up boards of directors and adopted corporate structures, sometimes issuing shares. The government kept a close eye but allowed SOEs to operate more independently. Large, important SOEs were kept and even strengthened, while smaller or less efficient ones were privatized or shut down. This process was gradual and controlled to avoid shocks to the economy. In the early 2000s, China created the State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission. This body acts as the main shareholder for most SOEs. It manages these companies like private firms but still ensures they follow socialist goals. Reforms also encouraged mixed ownership, inviting private and foreign investors to buy stakes in SOEs. This made them more competitive and innovative. Throughout these changes, the Communist Party stayed involved. Party committees were embedded within SOEs to oversee strategic decisions. This kept the socialist principles intact while allowing the companies to operate more efficiently. Recent reforms focus on managing capital rather than managing assets directly. The goal is to allocate state resources to key industries like energy, banking, and infrastructure, while reducing government interference in daily operations. These reforms made SOEs more resilient and competitive, helping them withstand economic shocks. They now serve as pillars of the socialist market economy, balancing market forces with state control. The approach is unique, blending market efficiency with socialist ideals, unlike the rapid privatization seen in other countries that once had communist economies. In short, state-owned enterprises shifted from rigid government-controlled entities into more flexible, corporate-style firms. They now operate with a mix of public and private ownership, guided by the Communist Party, to support economic growth and maintain control over vital sectors. This evolution reflects a careful balance of reform and tradition during and after the Cold War era and the end of the Communist bloc.